Welcome to another ICC Blitz banter session. So Friday night, 9 PM UK time. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to be accepting challenges, but my first game traditionally is a game on the ICC auto parry. But get ready to challenge me if you want to play me. So I'll play my first game on the auto pairing. So I'm going to click 5. So the Fierce ICC auto pairing, one of the strongest venues for, well, I think the strongest venue for 5-minute chess online. So, but to challenge me, it will be like match King's Crusher. I'm King's plural Crusher. 5-0. Okay, we've got a game on the auto pairing. Let's try maybe a. Oh, I'm going to play a knight e4 here. Okay, and a quick c5. Okay, and I just realised that something which I'm going to remedy while playing this game. Maybe quick b6. That knight on the rim might be dim. Really? I'm going to say hi all in the chats. Yes, that's what I realised. My chat. Okay, so here the knight on the rim is dim, I hope. But how dim? Can I play? What can I play? c4? Whew. And then maybe b5. That looks tempting to play c4 here, if I'm not mistaken. That should be okay. The knight's got the c5 square though. The knight's got the c5 square. So if I play b5, that's not too helpful. What is it? Yeah, let's just. I don't want to castle into some raging attack. Let's see what happens. b5. Okay. If I take that and b4, trying to hit this pawn. Don't want to castle just yet. I feel there might be some danger around here. And okay, e4, trying to break open the position. If I take, I'll take here, being greedy. Looks like a free pawn. Queen d2, queen takes a1. Okay, there. So what about d4? Does that move? Play d4 here. Rook c1, d3, bishop a4, and I'm dead. Not too easy. I mean, it is a pawn. Gotta be careful. d4, rook c1, d3, bishop a4. If bishop d3, that's check. Bishop a4 though. Yeah. So, okay, do I just castle? I'm gonna just. I think I'm just wanting to castle. Okay. Okay, let's see. Is it, how dangerous is this? Tread carefully. Okay, I'll go to a3 for a moment. I'll go to e3. e2. I think d4, bishop d4. Haven't I got rook d8? I don't think there's any bishop b2 there. I think that would be good. Rook d8. Okay, I'm under fire here though. Maybe bishop b7. What about bishop d7? Is that too? That looks okay. Unless my queen's getting trapped. So interesting. Is my queen getting trapped? I think I'll play e takes. Yeah. Looks safe enough. Looks safe enough. Alright, so d5 under fire. Okay. d4 here. There's rook c4. Whoa. That's not nice. If I try and protect this in advance, that means I believe knight d5 I can take and then take on a4. A bit down on the clock here by 50 seconds at the moment. I'll do this knight. Whoa, this is getting tricky. What about knight b4 going to d3? I give my knight a square. Maybe e8. Bit miserable. Actually, hold on. There's also, I'm looking at f3 here, but the queen's protecting f3 at the moment. g5, aggressive. g5 would be aggressive. I'm holding d5 with both knights though. Whoa. Okay, can I get some things off with knight d3? Is it worth it? Whoa. It's getting a little bit on the scary side, threatening to damage my pawns. Let's go with this for a moment. Although I've just blocked in my knight. Actually, g5 does look pretty strong, I gotta admit. g5 does look pretty strong. Oh dear. Okay, this is now getting a little bit desperate. I guess there's rook d4 for queen c1 if I'm trying to deflect the queen away from either the rook. Okay, he hasn't taken that. Is he trusting me or something? Why didn't he take that? That knight's not going anywhere, is it? What about knight a2? There's rook a1. I don't want to lose on time. Another quickly played and probably easily regretted move. Only got a minute 7 now. I think you can just take on. Probably can just take on e4. Trying to catch up on the clock. Hang on. Okay. Okay, I'm on the knight. I'm on the bishop. Actually, rook d4 for queen c1 looks like a very important tactic. But I can play rook d4 for queen c1. He plays rook c3. Okay, there's rook e2, there's king e2. Let's put the pressure on. Maybe c2 opens up the queen to f3 actually. That's looking like a useful move for queen f3. Actually, that looks good for knight d3 after. Maybe knight d3 around here.
Check.
Or not. Have I taken knight d3? Queen h3. I still want this knight d3. I think when the queen's there. Okay, 49 seconds. He's not giving my queen much of a chance to get out of the firing line here. I wanted to play knight d3. Never got the tempo. Whoa. Am I getting a tempo? What about this a6 check then? Knight f4, queen a6? Just trying to get in knight d3. Okay, I'll treble. Trebling's sometimes good. Okay, again. Whoa, it's getting, I think this is almost like pre-move time now. Okay, I'm gonna get into pre-move time. He's dropped his bishop. I think I have to ignore knight f6. He's playing that. Oh, he's dropping pieces. Let's not have a back row mate. Yep, he's dropping pieces.
Time.
Whoa.
Check. Check. Check.
Dramatic. Dramatic first game. Okay, I've been challenged. AH45. I'll play you next. A4 H5. Sorry, A4 H5. Is that an opening? A4 is something. It's if you play A4 and H4, it's the crab, isn't it? A4 H4 is the crab opening. Okay, a quick E5. Yeah. Trying to pierce the dark squares a little bit. We'll get King's Indian style position. So I've got a sort of King's Indian style position here, I believe. So I want to play something like knight g6 and e4. I don't think I want knight h4 to happen necessarily. Looking at my light squares, can I harass that bishop for a moment? Shouldn't be there, should it? If he's going to play h3, a little bit of a weakness created, I hope. Okay, I'll take that dark square bishop. Yes, and that little weak pawn on e3, I need to have a plan of torturing it. Maybe c6 for queen b6. That's one way. Got to watch out for my d6 pawn. I'm on water. One of the best drinks, water, H2O. So f4. I think if he takes, I'll take. Open up the bishop. What about g4? Do I have knight g6 now? I just want to stop this knight h4. I want to get some grip on the dark squares going here. Yeah, I want to seal the grip on the h4 square. So maybe like knight h4, and even try and get bishop to g3, followed by queen h4, and then I'll focus my attention. If I get a bishop to g3, I'll be a lot happier here. Let's see, is this going to happen? Because then I can get a queen to h4, and then play for h5. Okay, I'll get rid of that to get my bishop to g3. I'm not too worried at the moment. If he's opening up this diagonal later, I don't think I should be too worried about that. I could pre-move this, I think. It's a pretty safe pre-mover, because I've just checked him. So I wonder, this position, if I can get to play queen h4 and h5, I'm hoping to get some pressure going. Oh, although that's an awakening move. That pawn could be weak. Although, is he going to give me the f4 square? Yes. Okay, what about rook f4 now? Try and support this. This could get a bit of a scare, this g3 pawn. I wonder if he's going to take on f4. Yes. So I protected that pawn. I think I need to play h5 to justify my pieces a bit more. So h5. This should be, I'm hoping this should be quite kind of interesting if I get to play h5. Well, it's kind of a little bit passive. I think I've got to watch out for pawn sacks like e5, but I'm not sure I should be worried about CD. And this is like coming on C file anytime soon. But if I get in h5, there's going to be some pressure now. Okay, e5 for queen e4 could be a naughty try, which I should be worried about. How worried? I'm going to do this anyway. I think I'm protecting h7. As soon as I play hg, I'm protecting h7 actually. So e5 and queen e4. In fact, e5 hg, queen e4, bishop f5, queen f4. And that bishop's pinned. I can't take on d3 because of queen f8. Okay, there's some challenges with e5. Let's imagine e5 then hg, queen e4. I'm holding h7 there with the queen. What about g6? I don't think it's entirely dangerous. Maybe I just plow on with g takes h3 in that position. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do this because I'm holding at the moment h7. Okay, let's imagine queen takes bishop, and then there would be bishop f5, queen f4 takes, and then I take on d3. So if I take with the queen, okay, I can take with the pawn, surely. I don't think bishop f5 is mentioned, queen f4, but g takes. Okay, he's not mating me just yet, so I'll venture this because I'm holding h7. So queen g6, yeah, it looks a little bit scary, but how scary? Okay, there's h2 check, or there's g2, or there's bishop e8 even, just trying to evict this queen. I'm wondering just bishop e8. He hasn't got any, I don't think he's got any killer checks. I hope he hasn't. But if he gets his queen on this diagonal, yeah, there's queen f6. If he imagines get his queen to d4, I think I have queen f6 coming up. So, okay, so queen e4. Queen e4. Do I worry? Queen sack. Right, so he's trying to lure my queen for the h7 mate. If it takes there, that's dangerous. Can I just follow a check first? If I do a check first, because I think if king h1 g2 check. Hold on a sec. If king g2 h1 check. If king h1 g2 check and then h1 check. I think I ignore this decoy stuff, this drag and drop tactics. G2 though, queen g2 is away from h7, so maybe queen f4 there. So I think I can play g2 here.
Check.
Just try to lure the queen away. Okay, now I think this looks pretty safe actually, just to play. I think even rook takes f4. But maybe queen f4 is possible. Rook f4, how does he get mate for it? Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm hoping he's not mating me. I've been mated recently with someone with having 1 second. That is possible. Anything's possible in Blitz. Yeah, okay. Okay, any challenges? You want to challenge? Match King's Crusher 5-0 if you want to challenge. As I might play another game on the auto pairing. Hi all on chat. YouTube stream. I see YouTube stream. Okay, so a 5 minutes auto pairing game, I think. Whoa. Okay. Quite a good rating next to my own. In my own, I'll play my Anti-Benoni Gambit system, I think. Try and get closer to the monitor. So I'm serious about this game. Right, he's going to have lots of counterplay, hey? With this system. Can I just play something unusual and just play e4 here? I haven't tried this, I don't think, that much. He's going to fracture my pawns. I just want to hold his centre back. Okay. Maybe develop some pieces. And so bishop b7, bishop d3. Yeah, I know centre could creep forward with bishop b7 and d5. I think there's an Anakin game or something in this variation. I'm not entirely sure what it is called again, but alright, he's playing for aggressive play, obviously. I just want to keep things pretty intact if possible. Rook b1 could be a useful move. Queen c7, bishop f4. If I play rook b1 here for a moment, I don't think bishop f4 does much. Queen f4, rook b7. At the moment, well, there's queen b3. Say rook b8, queen b6. Does it do anything? It's interesting. Maybe that is interesting. Queen b6. I'm not sure if I'm achieving. It seems a bit too forceful, but on the other hand, I wonder if a6 is a target. Rook b8, queen b6. Is a6 a potential target here? Or is this could be just silly on my part. I've gambited a pawn, haven't I, to get this position. So he should have been the one gambited the pawn. I've just gambited a pawn back. There's a reason I haven't played this that much. I've just made it a counter pawn gambit. But it's interesting for the moment because bishop a6 is almost possible. He's going to play. Hold on. He's going to play bishop d8. Yeah, I don't want to sort of lose too quickly with a backfire on the b file. Alright, I can try and get my pawn back. Maybe I should do that in the circumstances. So it's no longer a silly counter gambit, uncharted territory. I've got past a pawn, theoretically. Okay. Just try and keep some pressure. Maybe rook d1 then to try and keep some pressure going. Rook a8 is a concern. Okay. Try and get rid of this bishop or create some more weaknesses. I want to try and weaken d6. At least he hasn't got a knight coming to d4 just yet. Intriguing. Let's think. He could just play f6, you know. So bishop takes, knight takes, king e8. Yeah, just some pressure on a2. That's going to be a pain. Just try and keep possession of the b file. Sack for the b file. Does that really achieve anything? I'm going to do it to try and keep some pressure and try and get my rooks to the 7th. So it's another pawn sack. Okay, I'm trying to keep dynamic pressure going at the expense of a few pawns. But with rook b7 now, I might actually be threatening to regain the pawn. Bishop e7, rook d6 immediately. I'm trying to get some authority on that b file. Try and keep that b file going. Bishop g5, knight g5 on f7. Rook b8, there's bishop e7. If knight e7, then rook b8. Okay, so he does that. Yes. But he's weakening potentially f5. Maybe knight h4 coming up. Okay, let's keep some pressure. The forcing moves are not too brilliant for me at the moment. Bishop c5 is not doing anything. Knight h4, g6, there might be bishop h6. If I try and get a knight... Oh, he's trying to really kick this rook away. If I get a knight to f5... from the next little trick here, trying to put some more pressure. Okay, this check is not working. Is f4, f5 probably not doing too much? Yeah, let's try and get maybe the knight to c4 instead. I have to keep checking out bishop c5s. He could just contest this b file. Is he going to test the b file? not leaving me with too much. If I get a knight to c4, I don't really see what I'm doing. Is it going to try and just further contest the b file? If I get a knight to c4, it stops at least rook a5. It's got knight a5, then so what? Yeah. Okay, rook b7 is not doing anything. Try and advance this guy. Maybe h5. Try and weaken that f5 square, or get a form pawn for the ending. If I have a pawn on h6, that could be tactically useful later. Could is an operative word. It could be yet another weakness. It's good my e4 isn't dropping off just yet. Okay, yes, kicking me off a little bit. So f3, king f2. Try and put the time pressure on, at least. If I try and hold his pawns for a moment, maybe bishop h4 is useful. Oh well, dropping another pawn. If I get a knight to d5 here, plan to get a knight to d5. I'll play rook c2 and then try for knight c3 to d5. It's not too hot though, in theory. In fact, that's not working. Not working. He's going to get a knight. He's going to get a knight to d4. He's even stopping my knight maneuvers as well. This is getting pretty bad, actually. Pretty bad. I'm going to drop a pawn now. Knight d4, rook c1. My knight's not going anywhere. Just being totally outplayed here. Can I get round over there? Is that something to try and get round? This hasn't been a great game, I've got to say. Can I get my king over there? No, he's not even letting my king go over there. Now 92 looks remarkably dangerous. Trying to attack these pawns. Is that a poison pawn?
Check.
So he's on my bishop and he's on e4. It kind of was a poison pawn. Wow. There's no respite here. Knight f3 is threatened. Okay.
Check.
Wow. I'm losing every single darn pawn here. This wasn't the intention.
Check.
Every single pawn.
Time warning. Check. Check.
Oh boy, I think it might be time to, unfortunately, resign. Oh, that was murder. Murder. Okay. Next game, A8, A4, H5. Oh man. Okay, let's do this plan. H4, H5. Slightly unusual position, but interesting. So takes, might have some g5 pressure, bishop b3. This is a 3-minute game up. It's about just to grab that pawn, I wonder. I think I'm tempted to grab it. No, he's just winning the exchange there. That wasn't too clever. I'm falling for poison pawn material today, quite easily. I've got knight h5 trying to open up this g file. Bishop b3. Knight h5 for bishop h6 might be possible. So knight h5, bishop h6. This, my b file is a little bit shielded. Can I grab this one? I still can. So I'm play the bishop h6. Okay, if I take here. Alright, if I grab this, try and defend, maybe bishop c1 and there's queen c3. He's getting to my king quite quickly. Queen c3. What about rook g3 there? It's got rook b2 just yet. And there's also this pin on that diagonal. Maybe rook g3 just about is possible. Okay, so queen c3, rook g3. Or just hg. What about just hg? Just trying to open up the lines. Okay. Let's see what he does on that. This is rather defensive. Queen d2 for queen h6. Oh, it's on my rook as well. Maybe I want to keep the rooks on for a moment. I think something like maybe rook g4 for a moment. For queen d2 for queen h6. Queen d2, queen h6 on g6. Actually, that does hold e4. That's useful to hold e4. Otherwise, queen e4 is check. So queen h6 threatened. F4, there's queen e4. Right, so queen c2. Let's remember holding e4 a bit more. Okay, it's getting very short on time. Rook g5 for queen c3. Is that possible? Or what about rook a5? Try and get this bishop on the diagonal. Oh, he's resigned. Oh, he's just resigned. Okay, it's a bit short on time here. Okay, tortoise. Okay, thanks for the game, B. By the way, let's try this approach defense. So bishop c5, knight g4.
Check.
I've had this sort of position quite a bit. Good play on the dark squares, I believe. Queen f6 for knight e5, or just h5, h4 maybe, h5. I've got e5 kind of sealed up. Queen f6, maybe a6, queen f6. Queen f6 there. Okay. Well, knight f2, I'm actually winning the exchange anyway. Can I not just play that? I mean, his dark square bishop's going to be good. Actually, I think I'd rather just try and sit on the position here. Although it's tempting, I think I'd like to have a more comfortable, easy to play position. That helps my pawns there. The f4 pawn. Okay, so something like keep the bishop. Bishop c3 might be threatening rook f4. Okay, knight's holding e5 at the moment. So I just wanted to stop rook f4. Maybe I should try and get a rook to e8 here to support e5. e5 is looking vulnerable. So rook e8, and then okay, so maybe rook e8. So knight e3, maybe knight e3 coming up now because e5 is supported. So that means actually maybe g4 and f. Oh, okay. I'll try and keep these things, this side closed somehow. Is it worth playing b4 just to keep things closed? Maybe it slows down maybe once attacking potential. I think taking on f1 surely keeps offering that exchange. Alright, now play for f3. Maybe I should snap that off. And then f3. Okay. So what am I doing? h4, fg for h3. h4, g3. Okay. Yes, a6 is going to be dangerous. Can I try and get the queens off? Queen f3. Is that a naughty thing to do? Is that a necessary thing to do? Maybe it's getting a little bit dangerous. Queen g6, a6, queen e4. Queen's off with queen f1 anyway.
Check.
Okay, there's a check just to hold against a6. So c4, bishop a6. Or, yeah, I'm a bit stuck with these. Okay, let's put this pawn here for a moment. These bishops are actually kind of annoying. Rook g8, g3 or h3, king g3. Let's protect this guy. Okay. G3, H3, H3, King G3. Yeah. It's not easy. This exchange up, it doesn't seem entirely easy. I'm not sure what that would be doing, in fact. G3, it goes H3, and it says, what am I doing? Yeah, I've got quite a few pawn fractures over here. He's got pawn mobility over here. Oh, okay.
Check.
Oh, he's opening up my rook here. I didn't expect that. That's a bonus there. My rook can come down.
Check.
Okay, didn't expect that. So maybe like, okay, rook b2. Some cause some problems here. I think bishop c4 coming up. If rook f7. Okay, bishop c4. I think. Alright, this looks a little bit better than earlier. G2. Although I'm not threatening, I am threatening G1. So, okay. What about rook h8? He's got the check, but I want to play rook h1. This rook on the 7th looks pretty good. Bishop g4, king b8. Okay, on stream. Okay, so rook h1, I think. Okay, he's blundered the rook here. I think I'll take that rook. I don't think he's got killer checks or anything. Okay, thanks for the game, Coach Tortoise. Okay, quick 42. 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. According to Hitchhiker's Guide Through the Galaxy. Quick 42. You guys are saving me from the wrath of the auto pairing. Yeah, the auto pairing is so mega tough at the moment. So thanks for that. Thanks, keeping up the challenges. Can I try and? Okay, I'll provoke maybe G5. I think I'll provoke G5. I'm tempted to. I was tempted to just leave the bishop there and take rook h4, but better be a bit cautious. Rook d1, knight e5 seems sensible. Building up some pressure. Okay, can I take on f6? Interesting. Also bishop h7 for winning the queen. But this looks nice to take that on f6. Got to be concerned about, okay, taking the queen off. Bishop h7, rook d8, I think is tempting.
Check.
There is queen g3, takes queen g7, it's rook g8 though. So maybe I should just try and parry one of these bishops, which is glancing at my king. Try and parry these bishops. Okay. Take. Should be okay. Knight e4 looks okay for the moment. Try for maybe queen h5 at some point. Knight g5, queen h5, king g8. Not quite doing anything. Got to be a bit cautious here. I wonder. Knight d6. Okay, I'll take that off. These bishops could work well together. Try and go on the attack a little bit. Maybe bishop e3 for bishop g5. That at least holds the d2 square as well, because some coordination on g2. Oh, there's queen h6 here for queen g7. Queen g7. Thanks for the game, Quick 42. Okay, Bugmantis. Let's try an English opening. A bit of variety. So Botvinnik system. Okay. So black's trying to usually get a good grip on d4 and make like this sort of maneuver. I'll try and clamp down on things for a moment, and maybe later f4, f5. So the Botvinnik system, I think Botvinnik did play this quite a bit. And there was a few years he took off before his match with David Bronstein, so but I think he had some pretty solid systems forged. Oh, hi Silent Chess Fan, hi there. You're the 994. Thanks. Yeah, this is your chance, guys, to get me off the auto pairing with these sessions, and that's a good thing for my sanity and ego. Thank you. I'm not saying you're not tough, you guys, but it's just that the auto pairing is based on my current rating, and they're super tough, I find, at the moment. No, you've got to be careful. I mean, seriously, the auto pairing is a killer. You've got to be a masochist to play on it. Queen d2, yeah, knight g3, f5. I find it's good to be caffeinated before going on the auto pairing. I've said that before. I can't emphasize that enough. Okay, so maybe knight g3. There's always d5 hitting the knight, but here g5. Here's knight h5. What about here though? I would want to squish with g5 and f6. Okay, so the knight moves f6. I want to squish on the king side here. I'm happy at the moment with this position. Maybe let's reinforce this. I guess this is the loose piece to target with d5 pretty soon. Now, I don't usually have cappuccino at this time of day or any coffee, by the way, so okay, so it's just water at the moment. Yeah, my coffee is usually at around 12 p.m. During the day, 12:30 p.m. during the day. Yeah, Cafe Nero. So Rook d1 for d4 looks plausible because I have supported the c-pawn, and I just wonder about d6 being potentially weak. So d6, if I play for d4 and then d6 looks like something to aim for. Or am I imagining that? I'm just going to give my opponent loads of squares. What I really want to do is h4, h5, but what about knight g4, bishop h3? Okay, actually, I'm not playing d4 for a moment. I think I'm giving him too many squares, like c5. I don't want to give him too many squares for these pesky knights at the moment. I think just h5, not worry about knight g4. In fact, I'm going to hit that knight. And maybe bishop h3 coming up. Hit it again. In fact, doesn't that cause the opponent a little problem? This bishop h3. I'm liking this bishop shut out of the game. It reassures me a little bit that this is going to be enjoyable to play, hopefully. So with this bishop shut out of the game. Okay, so what does he do about these knights? h5, is he sacking a pawn? G takes knight f6, that's possible to play h5. He's done it. Can't get rid of these pesky knights that easily. Okay. So bishop takes here. He wouldn't take here, bishop g4, knight e5. What about knight h5 after? Just trying to blast my way to his king. Maybe with g6. This should be fun. I'll play for g6. I don't want any knight hook on g4. I just want to get in g6, threatening queen h7. Mind you, there's knight g6. This might be a little bit unsound. This knight sack. Okay, he's not taking that anyway. Wants to come down to g3 or something. Can I just try and reinforce some squares? I'll just get this back. Try and reinforce some key squares. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at my opponent's clock. He's going to move quick. Only coming up to 10 seconds now. It's going to move quick. Okay, I'll take like this. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the game, Pugnantis. Okay, who's the next challenger? Or do I have to go on the dreaded autoplay? Get in that frame of mind. Okay, I'll give it a few seconds, shall I? I'll give it like 10 seconds. Yeah, okay. Another, want a rematch? We'll have a rematch. I'm wondering. Oh no, not a dreaded London system. My favourite. My favourite opening to play against. Not. It's torture. I admit, it's torture to play against this. And I don't think I've chosen a particularly good system. But anyway. I get some play maybe with this. With b5, I hope. Try and play for b4. So ED, I'm trying to play for that b4. Okay, if b4 is out of the question, maybe taking just to get a knight on d5 here is an alternative. There's knight c5 though. I'm on with tempo though on the bishop, so I'm tempted now actually because I got that tempo. Maybe b6 and work with it with the position from there. Although bishop d6, then he could play knight c5 or bishop c8. Not too terrible, I think. I hope. This position here, I like the knight. Okay, the infiltration points. Knight d6, bishop d6. Maybe I just want to double rooks actually, and then play for b4. You can always just move the rook though at any point. Maybe it's not worth that. So in fact, I'll be running out of any constructive plan soon. There's no constructive plan, is there? If I can't double it, he just plays his rook away from the A file. Silent chess fan. Oh yeah, yeah. If you want to be a chess coach, yeah, give me a message. Give me a message. Yeah. Okay, so knight b5. Yeah, I'm available for some coaching. Okay, so I'm in trouble, aren't I? Okay. Let's just protect this one. No, this is going to get worse, isn't it? Hang on. Knight e7 to f5. I'm not convinced by my position or this plan. This knight on d5 is not all that, unfortunately. Would I get knight f5 in? What would that do? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm on the defensive. On the defensive. Yes, I am. I don't like these London systems. Oh. I can try and pretend I do, but I think people know I'm kidding. They're going to play against me. It's torture. What do I do? Let's get these. How do I repulse these horrible knights? I guess f6 on a weakened e6. That's going to be a big downside. It's not actually threatening anything immediately because the knights are protecting each other. Can I try and evict this knight like this? It looks grim. It looks grim. Yes. Okay, can I play for g5 then? Try and relieve some of this pressure. I'm not wanting to play f6. If I played f6, the knight would just go back and then e6, not good with e6. Although, hang on a sec, bishop d7. Is it that bad? Okay, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to go with. If I get a chance for bishop d7, he could snap this off. So knight f3. I'll be threatening to, yeah, takes away from the glare of the London system bishop. Now knight f3, bishop d7 holds e6 for the moment, without me having much of a plan though. The only plan is just repulse some of these pieces, hopefully. Okay. Takes knight d7, I'll be losing pawn. Rook takes, maybe better. Knight d7, rook d8. So knight d7, rook d8. Mind you, he'll be just playing knight f3 now. Oh. So my rook's attacked and I'm losing more material. Oh, this is fun. Ah, okay. Okay, I'm losing one or two pawns. Apart from that, everything's fine. Maybe I get a rook to e2 on rook e6. Knight g6. Rook e8, rook e8, bishop g6, rook e2, maybe with some counterplay. I need some counterplay. Give me some counterplay. Oh, please take a pawn or two, but give me some counterplay. A rook on e2, I could do with a rook on e2. Ah, okay, he's not taking so many pawns. Back to a pawn down now. And losing another pawn. Oh, this is fun. Okay, a typical London system game. Okay, try and win on time now. This is the plan, win on time. Bishop f4, rook g8 coming up. Play some pre-moves. Trying to get even more pawns. I'm not sure I want to draw. I'm going to fight on here. I think I'll have bishop. I've got some pressure now. Now rook e6, I'm going to take here first. I'm hoping to create some complications. He's only got 10 seconds. Difficult to play with 10 seconds. This position, I think I might have some counterplay here, finally. So bishop h2 and g1 coming up. We'll win an exchange. Rook e7, there's king g6. Oh, but then king takes rook after that. So bishop h2 is not working. King h2, g1. Rook g1, rook g1. There's rook e7. Which means king g6, there's king takes g1 after. Okay, so that's great. What about bishop e5 for a moment? Just disconnecting the rooks. Rook moves, then bishop h2 might work a little bit better. Try that. No, actually rook e7. Rook e7. Ah! Okay, time win. Sorry. Thanks for the game. Yeah, you got me on the torch rack. Cave Johnson. Hello, Cave Johnson. That wasn't a model game how to play London system. I need to research that a little bit more, I think. Okay, so hi Jordan Crouch, hi everyone on stream, hi Saudi thingy. Okay. So, this game might have to be aborted. Okay, I'll give it a few more seconds. I'll give it to 4. I'm not sure he's gone somewhere. Okay. I bought that for a moment. Okay, a rematch with Quick 42. Okay. So I'll try and play basic queenside counterplay plan. So I want to play rook b8, b5. It looks like a pretty standard plan. Clamping down on my b5. I'll play b5 here. Not entirely clamped down b5. Okay. Oh, thanks, Jordan. I got some extra lighting this week, actually, for my lighting requirements. So, okay, so bishop a6. Okay, queen d3, bishop a6. I'm hoping to get some counterplay going here. Queen b8. Maybe. Yeah, I'm happy. A little bit of play, especially compared to the previous game where I'm struggling to get any counterplay. Maybe a check. Or rook b3. What about rook b3 for a moment? That means bishop d3, rook a1. I like the position. It's a little bit almost as though I've played a Benko Gambit without playing a Benko Gambit at the moment. I'll throw this check in.
Check.
That pushes the king. Maybe it could be more vulnerable. Actually, no. No, that was dumb. I've just played a really dumb move. I didn't mean to do that, actually. I thought the king had to move. It'd be good to look at the position. Okay. Alright, queen c2 here looks good though. It protects c7 and hits the rook on b1. Queen c2. Now rook a1. d3. It's got knight before coming up. Actually, there's queen d1 here. King f2. Maybe I should play queen d1, because actually king f2, queen e2. Oh yeah, king g1, queen e1 seems to be mating. So queen d1, king f2, queen e2, king g1. Not queen e1, doesn't make. Queen takes e1. That'd be tragic. Alright, so how? Intriguing. I can try and lure the queen away with knight c5 sneakily. So it takes, then I'll have the king to myself, surely. Queen d1. The same sort of stuff. I'll try and lure the queen away from e1. A naughty little tactical idea. But actually it threatens knight b3 as well. So it's not entirely bad. It's not just a trap of some sort. It's also, I think, a good move anyway. Because knight b3. Knight b3 here looks like a gigantic family fork. Okay, so rook, bishop, queen, all forked. That seems good to me. Okay. Queen takes d2. That's the weakness of the last move there. Blocking d2. I think queen takes d2. Queen c7. Queen b4. There's rook a6. No, queen d2. Queen c7. I play knight a1, surely. Knight a1. Then I'll have access to the back row, so I think that's pretty cool. Knight a1. Or is it? Well, there's knight a6, but okay, it's an exchange. It's an exchange. Maybe knight c2 to e3. So here, I'll play knight e3, threatening queen g2 and queen e1. This, although it's only the exchange up, there's a pass pawn here, and these pieces are away from the king, so I'm wondering about knight e3 now. Yeah, I think that'll be terminal, because bishop h3, that will be queen e1. Yeah, this looks really dangerous. There's also this pass pawn, even if the knight and queen somehow didn't work too well together, but I think they are. Bishop h3, queen e1.
Check.
Okay, I do wonder, there's queen f2 here.
Check.
Yeah, this looks like great coordination, in fact, with the queen and knight. So queen h1 now is threatened. Okay. So I nearly blundered my queen behind the scenes there when I was looking at that apparent mating sequence earlier. So I think queen h1 is checkmate. Okay. Roland, thanks for the game, quick 42. Roland. Okay, is Roland ready? Not entirely sure Roland is ready. Play King's Gambit for fun. Bit of fun. Surprisingly, actually quite good results when streaming. I wonder if it helps me relax a bit more to play the King's Gambit, or something weird is going on psychologically. Or maybe it's just a surprise weapon, maybe a little bit to the opponent. Maybe not that many people are playing the King's Gambit. It's a little bit of a surprise weapon. Okay, I'm not so unhappy here. Might have potential nice center and F file. Knight e5 looks like a reasonable idea, just to gain a tempo. I don't think there's any killer checks at the moment. So if I get bishop c4 in, that's another kind of tempo gain. So getting some development here, and then there's like queen b3. Yeah, this okay, casting this queen d4, that could be a downer on that. What about just queen b3 for a moment? Queen e7, then d4. So queen e7, d4. It looks like that's a reasonable position if I get that position. To me, at the moment, there's also knight d5. Ah, okay. I still like this position because I've got that center. But maybe I should have played knight d5. I think maybe I was a bit too quick there. Okay, knight d5 here. I'm threatening bishop h6. Now, is that damaging to the opponent there? Yeah, maybe I'll just castle. This F file looks a bit too tempting. Okay. So bishop h6. Knight f6. Now I think I'm tempted for knight f6.
Check.
Now if king h8, there's knight f7. There, maybe knight h5, and I'm still on
Check.
f7. I've got good coordination on f7 here. Let's play knight f7. Check. This is nice. Threatening knight f6 now, rook h7. Okay, knight f6. Yeah, I'm threatening rook h7 mate now. Yeah, I mean this has worked out okay. This King's Gambit. Even after the queens came off. Sometimes there's pressure after the queens come off. Thanks for the game, Roland. Fun. Dead or... Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I relaxed a bit more when I played a King's Gambit. I have surprising results of it. Maybe I should keep a note of which openings I'm more gets me into that more fun frame of mind. I remember doing well at one tournament where I tried to just make it more fun as an experience, and I think it does help results actually occasionally. You know, just to try and make things more fun. So yeah, I think even for like the serious chess, I found that, you know, making things more fun takes away a lot of the pressure sometimes. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Do I need to abort this game? Is Thunderdor is he around? I'm gonna abort that for a moment. What other challenges have I got at the moment? Any other challenges? Mind you, the king's game on the auto pairing, it's going to be testing against the 2300 plus opponent, but it could be, you know, could do some damage. I've done some damage with it in the past. Alright, so I'll give you guys like 20 seconds. Send the challenge. Send the challenge. Scotch Gambit, if you can. Yeah, Scotch Gambit could be one to try out for fun. Okay, shall I play a game on the dreaded 5-minute auto pairing? Not getting a challenge at the moment. 5-minute auto pairing. Try my luck again. Shall I? Give it a few seconds. Give it a few seconds. What do you guys reckon? Vote now on stream. I mean, I'm going to press it. I'm going to press it. So either I get challenged or I get auto pair now. 5-minute auto pairing. Okay, blue low. Penguins. Let's play a G6 system. So this is a little bit of a surprise button, but maybe I should try and play it the Magnus Carlsen way, which is like A6 and then more sensible than how I usually play it. Potentially D6, B5, Bishop E7, there's C5, maybe Knight D7, C5. There's a recent game of Magnus Carlsen using this kind of system. So he's clamping down on B5. Have I got Knight E4 just to grab a centre pawn? Oh, I'm tempted to play this. Just try and grab a centre pawn there. Or the light square bishop. There's a bit more frontal pressure on D4. So bishop D3 I'm taking, and then although I'm not sure entirely it makes sense with A6 to do this. I wonder, bishop D3 takes Knight C6 after. You could just double the pawns. It looks a bit wretched. Especially because I played A6. The bishop's not going to really get out to this diagonal there. Maybe I need something else here as an idea off the bishop D3. Is he looking for refutation? It's taking a while here, more than a minute on this. Is he looking for some refutation? I'm pretty sure, I mean, as sure as intuition says. Okay, if I take, is there something horrible on F7? I think I just want to take that light square bishop. If Knight C4, well, Queen D4. Right. Knight C6 here doesn't seem entirely bad. If Knight C4, Knight D4. The double pawns here don't seem entirely bad. Because I'm a pawn up. I'm actually miraculously a pawn up. I'm usually a pawn or several pawns down. But they are completely shattered pawns. Yeah. On the other hand, there's a little perk, this B file. Also Queen D5 doesn't look entirely bad. For E5 doesn't look entirely bad. That knight's a little bit on the wobbly side. Doesn't really want to undouble my pawns, does he? Play E5. He's not really wanting to undouble the pawns. Is he? I can double his pawns now and bishop E5. And again, I'm happy with that, I think. So bishop h3. Use some pressure. Do I want to lose a6? Rook b8. Rook b1, bishop f5. That might be handy. Although he's got past the a pawn, maybe I want to keep my a pawn just to slow down his past a pawn when he takes my a pawn. Yeah, carefully prepare rook b8. This is holding back the a pawn at the moment. Maybe bishop d6. Maybe there's knight e4. Knight e4, bishop e7. As long as I've got d7 covered, it doesn't seem that bad still. I don't think it's that bad. Okay, so bishop e7. I wonder, like rook b8, bishop pair here, he's got his own structural issues. Rook b8 coming up, finally. Although I should really check what f3 is about. Can I just put a bishop into d5 here for fun? Bishop d5, maybe even take bishop d5. I think this might be nice to do this, even though it's opposite colour bishops. As long as I don't lose my a pawn. F6, f3 target. Sometimes the opposite colour bishops can help the attacking player, the one that's attacking. It'll be 2 pawns for an exchange. I think that's pretty good if I take here. Unless he's counter-sacking, that 2 pawns for the exchange I can't resist. Cannot resist this. 1 pawn, 2 pawns, no rook d3. I mean, it looks fun.
Check.
Okay. Cannot resist that sort of thing sometimes. G4, G3 looks interesting. Okay. Is he going to mate me? Hang on. He's got dangers here. I'm threatening rook d1 to drag a rook back. At least. Aha. G4, G3 looks interesting. But also rook d1. Okay, hang on a sec. Rook d1, rook f1, rook d2. There's always rook f2. Play g3 first. I'm giving him h2 square potentially. We're back to this pass pawn scenario I didn't really want to get into before. Let's just test this for a moment. So he's in this position where he has to play rook f2. So if I wanted to draw, I could do this. But I don't want to draw necessarily. I'm losing, and it's taking a bit of a risk if I lose a5. I'm going to play for g3. And then maybe bishop e4 to d3, king e1, check, king d2, rook b1. I think I might have some sort of attack going here after bishop e4, unless I'm getting mated. Okay, so rook h2, king g7. I mean, his rooks could coordinate, but my king could crawl up the board. I think bishop d3, king e1.
Check. Check.
I'm hoping this is enough play. Or is it? If I just take out his a pawn for the moment, that's the biggest danger is a pawn. Well, one of the biggest dangers. I could get mated as well, but potentially I've got nice pawns here. Okay, I don't want to lose my h7 pawn particularly. g6 is held with the bishop. Okay, try and get these pawns going. Okay, I've got g6 held. Let's get this guy going. So h3, g5. Can I take that pawn here? Is just drop that pawn? There's no rook c5 check either. Get these guys going. Or not. Throw the check in. Or h3 or bishop f5. Maybe bishop f5. Oh, check is actually mating there. That's a bit of a downer. After bishop f5, that would be a downer. g5. Check. King g6. Check. These checks are rather annoying. Let's actually put the king up. I don't want to lose that pawn either. Need a move. Need a move. Okay, I'm going to lose h4, aren't I?
Check.
It's the price to be paid.
Check.
Okay, it's not entirely a great position.
Check. 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 Check.
Mm.
Check. 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 Check.
Yeah, just another easy game on the auto pairing. Yeah, thanks Blulo. Alright, so Olympio MD. Yeah, I think I'm a bit adventurous, as you can tell with my exchange sacks. I think they're just so good. They're like heavenly, and then when you get down to it, it's not so heavenly. It's like your king's gonna get mated, you're gonna lose all your pawns, that sort of thing happens. I don't know, but at the time it just sounded so good to sack the exchange. It really did. I've just dropped g5 here. Okay, no, I'm not just trying to recover from the last game. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, okay. I need to try and get some coherence here. What's happening here? I'm going to lose this rook over there. He hasn't gone for the rook for some reason. Queen h4 and then queen g3. He takes, then there's queen h4 mating. So this could be fun. Knight c7 here takes. Queen g3 probably is mating after hg, queen h4. So that's a bit sneaky. I'm offering a rook, an entire rook. Ah, he's not falling for it. What about knight d4 here? So he's on my queen. I can play knight takes. Yeah, I think I'll play knight takes. Let's be able to take back here. Alright, he wants my rook,
Check.
I guess. Alright, I can take here. We've got a crazy looking position. Or I can play knight f2. I think knight f2
Check.
for a moment. And now this knight's kind of trapped. So I'm hoping this position is okay. Knight f3, king g2. Knight g6. Bishop here, knight e5. Alright, so knight e5, I'm activating my pieces a bit. Is it enough? f3 looks dangerous. His knight's still trapped. In fact, d5, this diagonal could be tasty later. I'll try and win this knight for fun. This pawn is going to be coming at me soon. Maybe I'll try and grab this and move my king. Or not. The king moves knight c7. Alright, I think I'm just gonna take this guy off, because otherwise it's kind of queening if I don't take it off. So it's 2 pieces for the rook. Okay, now I can get my king, try and help things over here. Helping hand with the passed pawns. Okay. I just lost my poor little knight. I had a chance to do anything. Could be the case. I might have just lost my knight. Poor knight.
Check.
Oh, I'm in just a lost. I'm in a lost king and pawn ending now. I've just got a lost king and pawn ending. Just transitioned to a lost king and pawn ending. Oh, blimey. Yeah, I think this looks really kind of lost. What did I do that for? Yeah, I've really blundered the hell out of that. Okay, well played. Well played. Ah, killed my rating. Oh, no. Yeah, well played. I think you played better than rating there. Although, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, well played. Ah. No. Ouch. Anyway. So the next challenge. Or shall I go on the auto pairing? I'll give it a few seconds. Well, I thought I was doing okay there, and yeah. Okay, maybe an auto pairing rating after that. An IM, yes. That's right. Classical King Legend. Right, so D6, I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit weak. I'm not sure I want my rooks exactly like this, but okay. Yeah, we've got knight b5 potentially on his queen. That might have been a little bit ambitious. Oh no, he's pinning me. Okay. b4, e5. I'll get my queen out of here. Queen d3, knight c5. A queen b1. Make queen b1 for a moment. I'm not too convinced now. Unfortunately, I think he's getting a nice position. b4 looks pretty logical. Knight d5 is not the move I really want to play, although it might not be in. Yeah, it just loses a piece. b4, bishop f3, bc, e5. This is not convincing. I'm pretty sure b4 is pretty dangerous. Okay, that's strange. I thought b4 just then. Now knight d5 without losing a piece is a bonus here. I thought just b4. But I'm giving him too much counterplay, I think, at the moment. More than too much counterplay. Bishop f2, knight d5. Hold e4. I don't know if you felt, if he didn't look at b4 or thought it was a trap. Before, but now I don't know. Knight d5 looks okay on b4. It looks as though I've got a great possession. I seem to have got away with murder. I'm pretty sure b4 earlier was good. Now knight d5 here seems a bit of fun. So it loses a pawn. e5 is not doing too much. The g4, g5, knight d5 is interesting. d5, e5. I think I'm going to play like this. Just try and make sure knight d5 is more playable. G5 is not c2. It's not winning a rook just yet. Maybe g5 here. And I'll play g4. Yeah, maybe. Pawn's a little bit vulnerable. Rook c1, knight f6, rook c3. I think e5 is doing anything. So knight f6, rook c3. I've weakened my king a bit. I'm hoping my bishops are okay sorting out king safety. This has gone a bit crazy, this game, to say the least. Queen c2. Yeah, I think queen c2 for a moment. Just for rook c7. Bishop h4, knight g4, bishop h4. I'm not convinced by. Take away h3 from the queen, maybe. Well, the king's on that dangerous diagonal. Keep e4 protected. I got him down to a minute. That's good news. I don't know if he's he's not playing too quickly at the moment, but it could speed up dramatically, as IMs do. So h3 is possible just to rule out knight g4, I hope. 92, knight b3. Knight b3 is on d6. Knight e2 holds c3 for a bit. Yeah, let's hit d6. And knight c5 just goes straight into knight c5. Or bishop c5. That doesn't help things. The knight c5 is looking like a tasty move that he wants to play. Okay. Maybe knight b3 just against knight c5. I just want to be able to take on c5. I'll just drop c3 though. That was, yeah, I've just dropped c3. Mind you, he's playing very, very slowly for some reason. I'll play for f5 at this rate. H4, H5. Is knight going to... Let's go to b5. F5, d6. There's bishop d6 possible here, knight d3, bishop b8. Bishop d6 here. I can take on c5, queen d7. Or knight d6. And queen d4. Or just fg, maybe just fg. We've only got like 2 seconds, so. Change your queens. Which is making that 2 seconds last.
Time. Check.
Okay, I won on time, but yeah, I don't know why he just didn't play b4 earlier. What wasn't? I'm pretty sure b4 was killing. I think that was a total let off. I'm pretty sure. What the heck? Why doesn't he play b4 at the right time? Oh, the engine's only got it. I thought this was killing. Apparently it's not, because I thought e4. Okay, is he looking at this? He's looking at this or something. Apparently this holds me almost in the game, but obviously I wasn't. That wasn't my first thought about the position to play knight b5. Was he? Maybe he was intently looking at knight b5. I think this is my first blitz banter. I am scalp. Actually, guys, this is a historic moment for my blitz banter sessions. I've finally beaten a title player on a blitz banter instead of getting caned so far. Yes, I'm happy. I'm a happy bunny. Yeah, I'm a happy bunny. Yeah, after yes. It makes, you know, if you become an ICC, there's loads of title players, and it's great fun if you can sometimes take a point off a title player. This would have been better for him, but I guess he's under great time pressure now. Okay, so challenges or another auto pairing? Any challenges? Yeah, that was a lucky escape. If you want to send me a challenge while I'm looking at this, or should be okay.
Check.
Well, it's opposite colour bishops, isn't it? Coming out. what it was here. But this is okay for white now, obviously. But okay. Okay, or another auto pairing. Auto pairing. Should we do another auto pairing, guys? Let's see. Go to the main console or auto pairing. Okay, another auto pairing then. It is. That's a GM this time. Okay, okay. It's only 2387 though. Let's try and open Sicilian. Just gonna hack this GM to death for your entertainment. In theory, no. In my dreams. Let's try this line. Is it saying here? Okay. Aggressive line. I've got to be concerned about bishop g4s. So if I castle queenside, things like e5, bishop g4. Is another one taking its time? Are they okay, so a4. Oh, okay, this is going to ruin my castling queenside plans. That's not bothers about a4. Maybe a3, a4. Oh, I could do this anyway. Let's just say it might not be that dangerous. I hope. So knight d2 here. Hoping it's not too dangerous. Knight c4. And am I going to get caned now? Okay, I'm queen f2. Queen b6 threatens knight b3. King b1. Maybe it's possible. The knight g4. What about just queen d3? It's on the safe side. Away from queen b6. Right, f5 would stop some stuff. Surely. Also, bishop takes for knight d5 is kind of a theme. He's winning that pawn. So I guess I can't play bishop e7. Has he got something evil against bishop e7? I can't immediately see what. Knight f2, bishop d8. Oh, I'm not sure. What's the point of that? What's the point of that? Knight c3 for knight a2, king b1. I don't think he's queening the pawn necessarily with some queen sack. Okay. Knight e4, bishop f5. What about knight d5 first? Well, just take this bleeding knight. It looks like a spare knight. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this. So knight d5, why not? Okay, I'm under great pressure now. g4, there's knight f6. It takes this knight f6. That might be good for simplifying. Bishop g4 or rook g1, but queen g4, knight f6. I can try and evict his. Okay, rook g1, there's knight f6 anyway. knight f6 here, I don't think it's quite working. Queen g3 is on the rook. Why does knight g3? It's getting loads of counterplay here, but my knights seem absolutely fantastic. Rook d2, bishop f5, rook d2, bishop f5. There's bishop g2 there. Bishop f3 though. What I really want to do, I think I need this rook on the g file. I'll give up to give some pressure to his king. There's always knight f6 on queen e4 here. So I think even queen d1. Or what about just king takes? Looks fairly okay at first glance. 1 minute 25. And he's got things like f5. I mean, he's going to just try and destabilize my position. Knight g5, knight d6. Those are nasty checks. Isn't that queen c4 for knight f6 to try and win the queen with... No, queen c4 for knight f6, knight e7, queen c... Okay. Hold on a sec. Okay, what's that, minute down? Queen c4, rook d6. Knight e7 is not doing anything. Knight f5. Yeah, I'm going to lose on time at this rate. Lose on time. Play this with queen c4. Is he just winning here? I'll take 25 seconds. I haven't given myself much of a chance on the clock, if nothing else. I should have played quicker earlier. 20 seconds is no good.
Time.
Rook c5.
Check.
Anyway, shut down all my possibilities. Hang on, queen d5. Oh, it's queen c2.
Check.
Oh, he's winning the rook or mating. Okay. Okay, Adif well played. Okay, Adif, Josh, I thought I had a good position there for a moment. But I caved in, I think, on the clock and everything. I was trying to, I don't know what I was trying to think here. There must have been, I think, some better practical moves just to play a move without getting into severe time pressure. But good fun anyway. So like last week, playing immediately some title players as well on the auto pairing. Yeah, sometimes I think you just got to play some practical moves. I don't know, trying to find some tactics which didn't necessarily exist, and just using, if you in a 5-minute game just use up like more than a minute or two, it's a recipe for just losing anyway, whatever you get after that. You've got to be very careful time wise as well. So okay. I'm hoping I'm not getting mated because there's knight f4. Let's get my king over here and rook g2 this. As long as I'm not getting mated over here, I'll be sort of happy. So king h1, rook g1. Right. Is b5 the idea? There's no takes for queen a8, knight c7. It's going to get loads of pieces. So probably the bishop retreats. There's knight d4, but bishop d3. Yeah, any bishop f4, knight f4. I'll play bishop d3 on b5 for the moment. I'll play rook g1 at some point. Okay. This d6 looks target. Knight f6 for rook d6. Knight d4 coming up, I guess. Maybe knight. Maybe f4 actually. F4. F4, is that gonna be good? So this knight on d4. Okay, so f4 coming up. Or doubling the rooks. I think a combination of doubling the rooks and f4 will be good. Alright, I'll let him have that bishop for the knight, because I think my knight's going to be kind of good on d5. If I can double the rooks. That's my next. I don't mind the double pawns here. That knight's kind of well entrenched. Time for some water. Okay. Okay, I'll double these rooks. I think f4 is... What does f4 actually do? I'm thinking dissolving these other pawns for some reason. It's probably weakening my kings suddenly. I don't know, maybe the pawns are counter free. Okay, what do I need to do here? Is black really solid? f4, fe, d-takes, doesn't really achieve much. Maybe f4 again after that to try and destabilize the knight. That's possibly an idea. This knight, yeah, with that knight on d4, I don't think black's got too many problems here at the moment. Trying to unwind this knight on d4. Is it really taking again? Oh, he's running short on time here. Yeah, I think this is being decided on time at this rate. Queen f4. I mean, just queen f4. No brilliant rook g6 or anything here. Okay, queen e3 then. One play for f4. Okay, time win. Okay, thanks, Alif Josh. Okay, so Dugos. There's different ratings on the ICC. Question on the stream. There's an auto pairing rating, which is very different usually from the ordinary blitz ratings. So this is just an ordinary blitz rating. The auto pairing rating is based on the 5-minute auto pairing pools. So I've got a higher standard blitz rating than my auto pairing rating. Significantly, I think it's the same pattern with everyone. Basically, the auto pairing ratings are very hard to get over. Like, even if you're on IM, it's difficult to like get over a certain, like even like 2300. A lot of IMs are like less than 2300 on the auto pairing rating, but the same IMs, they're usually above 2400 on the standard ratings. So this is like standard rating. My peak is about 2630 on standard rating and 2380 on auto pairing. Okay. So play b5 at some point. Maybe now, or a4. Am I just asking for a4? I do wonder. Oh, okay, I'll test this if a4 is going to be played. Maybe rook b8. Okay, rook b8 and try and play for b4 and try and. I think I want to get a better grip on the dark squares around here. Maybe okay, b4 coming up, and then what? If he plays bishop h6, white's also weakening the dark squares a little bit. If he takes this, yeah, that looks a little bit dangerous for me to allow that. On the other hand, I'm tempted for some strange reason to allow this. I'm thinking f5 and as an extra light square bishop, which white doesn't have. I've seen the idea before in 1 or 2 GM games. I've seen the idea before. Looks a little bit wretched, but extra light square bishop. So f5 coming up. Or not. Okay, so f5. Let me see. Rook b2 for bishop e6. On just okay, knight e5 here for a moment. On default, there's knight c4. Do I want to play f takes? Or do I want to play rook b2? Maybe rook b2. Okay, so rook b2 is a nice pin. That's okay as well. I'm on d3, and if d4 there's knight c4, I'm thinking this is a comfortable position, basically. I think I like the pin. There's no queen g5 at the moment. Okay, he could take my dark square bishop.
Check.
Well, this is getting a little bit dangerous now after that. Maybe bishop. No, bishop b7 will lose f5. There's queen b6. After that, there's queen g5 without knight g6. What about just rook f7? It's not ideal. And king h8, queen h6, queen f6 defends against g7. I think that holds things together, except I get mated on h7. Apart from that, it was holding things together. I'll go like this. I want this bishop on the diagonal. He's going to win a pawn. I'll treat this as a pawn sack to open up the bishop on the diagonal. I don't want all this stuff around my king, basically. I don't want to invite queen h6 to dinner. I'd rather lose the f5 pawn. That opens up that bishop. Okay, can I put some pressure on the position? Queen g5 here could be a little bit annoying, that pin. So looking at g2, I think I've got some compensation here. I hope. It's a lot less scary in many respects than the other types of positions, surely, anyway. Okay. -7. It's, yeah. Right, this position. I'm not grabbing my pawn back anytime soon. Bishop e4 though, hang on. Bishop e4. Try and grab the pawn here. Maybe. Oh, there's a check. Is this? My king can wander up, at least. Try and win c4.
Check.
Or not. I'd say that.
Check.
Oh, hang on a sec.
Check.
I've got to be careful with these king and pawn and these. Okay. Can I afford to take here? F6, knight c4. Takes f6, knight e5. Okay. Oh, that was intense. Just checking something. Okay, 5-card draw. hello 5-card draw. I'll play Tarash. I don't want to be totally boring with the exchange French. This one. Yes, that is a downside of the way I've played it. Alright, so I'm going to get nothing from the opening where I played it. I think I should have played c3. I don't like losing the light square bishop. Just from a little careless not playing c3. Yeah, because the knight's not there, I'm tempted to do this. See if I can provoke some weaknesses and create some problems here. Might not be happening. Okay. Try and use this center file. Alright, h5, h6 would be a little bit useful. Got one c7 here. Put some pressure on. I've noticed an Olympiad game earlier where Michael Adams ground someone down just with, it seemed to be virtually from nothing. Eventually ground someone down in a sort of position like this. But he's got the two bishops. Maybe I play for knight g6. Knight g6 coming up. Yeah, I think it was. Okay, so knight g6 would be an interesting pawn. Aha! Is my knight just being kicked back? Taking on f8 might be interesting, although I doubt it a little bit. Yeah, we seem to be heading okay, try and keep some imbalances in the position if at all possible. I don't really want to have a totally sterile opposite colour bishop's position. So how can I keep some imbalances going? g4, totally symmetrical pawn structure. Yeah, this looks as though, okay, gotta try and keep some imbalances. The light square bishop isn't doing that much after I put all my pawns on dark squares there. Okay. Okay, a knight versus bishop is one sort of imbalance, but he's not having it. Okay, let's put the bishop here for a moment. Knight e3, b3. There's always asking for bishop a2. That's king c2. I'm trapping the bishop there. So I can play for c4, put some pressure on d5, and try and change the pawn structure. So knight e3, b3, c4. Try and create some sort of imbalance, some sort of pass pawn there, I think. congrats to England on stream. Yeah, England's been doing okay in the Olympiad. I was pleasantly surprised. They're quite high up there at the moment. I've just dropped A3, haven't I? I've just dropped A3. Oh man, what am I doing? Just dropped A3. Anyway, apart from dropping A3, that was a really good move to play B3. That was a really fantastic move with a great idea. I thought C4. No, he hasn't taken my free pawn. Thank you. That's very generous. I'll move that out of the way. Am I trying too hard to win this already? Okay, there's F4 maybe. Do I get a chance to play C4 now? I'm going to get murdered with bishop B4. FG, knight G4. Bishop F5. Okay, I'm going to go with this now. Okay, I've definitely created imbalance at the cost of wrecking my structure a little bit. It's not as solid as before. On the other hand, D5 check is something. Check. It's an imbalance of some sort. Creates some problems, maybe, because the bishop. There'll be bishop E5 on King F6. Okay, check. I got a pawn. Got a pass pawn here. I got a nice bishop here, central. It's got a 2-to-1 there. I'm getting another pass pawn here. Wait for that. Two pass pawns.
Check.
Can I support D5? Don't want that dropping off. Okay, if I take and then knight F5, I win a pawn.
Check.
On H6. That could be a very nice pass pawn there. F7. Knight can go back for this one. Okay. Bit of a grind. Yeah, I did blunder the A pawn. Wasn't great. Greatest moment ever. And check. And king. It's not stalemate just yet. Because king D8, king C7. Okay, thanks. Okay, Douglas, I think we're going to make this one last game. I think now this will be the last one. I think of this session. Douglas, I think. Make this the last one, and I hope you've enjoyed this Blitz Banter session. It's okay, so I think this will be okay. So this will be the last one of the session here. Okay, I'll try for a hack attack with E5. Maybe H4, H5. Okay, H4, H5. I think that's a nice pin on the D file here. Oh yeah, remember to like the video on the ACC and my channel if you did like this video. And thanks for coming on stream. And yeah, if you want to join the ICC, there's a coupon code on my channel as well. I've mentioned as on one of my videos, like, well, actually it's in the, yeah, okay, so there's a coupon code I mentioned in one of the videos. I should probably put it in the description of all my videos if you want to join the ICC and be able to play on the pools. Okay, let's drop the bishop back here for HG. Trying to open up some lines here. I don't mind about sacking a centre pawn here because I think the important thing is the H file. Actually, maybe bishop H6 just then. But anyway, I have bishop H6 here. It's still looking dangerous. Yeah, I think there's some king safety potential concerns here. So bishop G7, queen H6, queen H7, knight G5 after. It looks pretty fun once that thin-shaded bishop can be exchanged off. The USA team in the current Chess Olympiad is absolutely formidable. They beat India, I saw, was it in round 7, who were leading the tournament. So the USA team, Nakamura, So, Wesley So, Caruana, gigantic, well, top rated players in the world really. So that's a formidable team. I don't know what the latest is, if playing Russia. Not entirely sure what the latest is on that. I don't know how many of you are following the Chess Olympiad. Anyway, so queen H6, knight G5 I think is looking interesting to play queen H6 here. So with knight G5 and queen H8, or just queen G6. Okay, if queen E8, knight G5, knight H5 say, I think I've got G4, well that loses that one, hang on. Yes, I think I've got to be careful here. I haven't got easy access to this diagonal because of this pawn. Alright, I think I want to take on G6. Do I? Probably. Threatening rook H5. Queen E8, queen H6. Let's take it here. Now this bishop could be handy for bishop H3 actually to E6. And queen H6 after. Alright, I'm threatening still rook H5. Also, it might be worth playing D takes E5. Right, D takes E5 here. Surely is okay to play. Now this looks pretty dangerous. Queen H6. Maybe knight coming to E4 is handy. Or bishop H3. If takes. Well, yeah. It's not over yet. Actually, hold on. Well, I'm not threatening to win the rook or anything. Let's get him to take that knight off. That knight's kind of annoying. I'll pre-move this. Okay. So now it actually gives me rook G1. That looks mega dangerous. Rook G1. I'm playing check and win this rook. That looks tempting as an idea. Okay, thanks, Dugos. Okay, I hope you all had a good time. Thanks for coming, and have a great week, and see you next week. Comments, questions, likes appreciated on YouTube. Thanks very much.